If you don't know, this is Nate Ellis, and this section is called Crafting Star Citizen Machinima with EE Studios. Yep. If you haven't seen some of the work, we're going to go through a few things, right? And first off, who is this?
This is Ava, which is our most well-known character, and Kim, my wife, does the voice for Ava. So you're going to see some of her today on the screen.
So tell us how you guys got started with all of this.
So my background's in production. It's a long story. I grew up with a camera in my hand, and then I went a weird way. Probably like most of you watching the movie Aliens, you saw the dropship scene, you wanted to be dropship pilots. Well, I took it literally, joined the Army, flew Blackhawks and Hueys in Afghanistan, did dropship stuff. And the Army paid for my college in media technologies, which is sort of like filmmaking. And then the Army paid for me to go to grad school for actual film production. And then after that, I was flying part-time while I got my writing, directing stuff going, and then the pandemic hit. And so I was like, okay, now the whole world stopped. My career is essentially on hold. I want to check out Star Citizen. And I got in there with my org that I formed, and they said, Nate, you should make Machinima. I said, what the heck is Machinima? And so then we started making stuff in there, and we'll show some stuff later.
So to play off that, so with Star Citizen Machinima, you've done Overclocked and Huxley Group.
Yep.
So what really inspired you in making that type of content in Star Citizen?
So Overclocked was a creative experiment. I had no plan going into it. I didn't write a script really or anything. And it was just like, oh, let me just make a movie about these two bounty hunters. And that grew into an entire feature-length movie, and then a whole second movie. And then Huxley Group, I approached it more intentionally. So I didn't write a script per se, but I did do more character development. I obviously knew Ava at that point very well, and I approached that project more deliberately.
So Overclocked, it's gained attention because of its intense action, right? I've seen it's nice, and really intricate storylines. Yeah. So walk me through that process, because that's got to be kind of interesting, having that action, that intensity, but then the storyline as well. What's that like? So
for me, when I started making Machinima, I don't know much about computers. I had a 1660 Ti or graphics card, not very great. For me, story comes first. As a filmmaker, as a creative person, it's always about the story and character. So I figure out that first, the main character, and most of the time it's Ava, because I've gotten to know her so well, and in a way I've fallen in love with her. I love you more, Kim, don't worry. But it's story first, outline, and then we sort of go in and figure it out. But I'll show a little bit more in detail how my brain works with that stuff.
Okay, so that's Overclocked. Now, Huxley Group is a bit different. How does that?
So Huxley Group was just more intentional. Overclocked, it was like improv. I was making it up as I went along. So the first movie, it doesn't have a traditionally fully formed story. That's why we had to then go in and make a second movie to pay off everything that we had set up. But Huxley Group, I went in more intentionally and figured out these are the characters, these are the arcs, these are the main beats. And so it was a much more deliberate process going through Huxley Group.
Okay. So this is like making a movie or a short story, like TV show type of thing, but doing this within Star Citizen, alpha testing, we used to have 30Ks all the time. So what is that experience like? What's the difficulty with that?
The difficulty, obviously, is the game is still in development, and as you all know, there's a lot of bugs and glitches. I've learned to just roll with the punches, creative problem solving, and I usually keep my teams really small, and I work with people who I know, one, are team players, but two, they're creative people too. They get the process, and they want to do this stuff. And you basically just have to, like there's one thing in Overclocked where the guy's T-posing. Obviously that's a problem. We just worked it into the story. It was a joke at that point. And so that's actually one of our more funny things is the guy T-posing in Overclocked.
So you go through all of this, especially with the hurdles of alpha development, making something very impressive. What would you say is the most rewarding part about this for the Star Citizen community?
The number one most rewarding thing is connecting with you guys, connecting with other citizens and players in the verse, And I mean that seriously. So I get messages all the time. When I did this stuff, it was just for fun. My film career wasn't working because of the pandemic, so I was doing this to like release that creative juice. Never in a million years did I think that I would be connecting with people like this. And I get messages, the biggest compliment I've gotten personally is when someone says, hey, my spouse or my family, they don't even play Star Citizen, and they watch this stuff because they love these movies, and they love Ava, or they love these characters. And I'm like, really? Like, really? That's so cool. So it's the connection, and I know some of you are here, some of the fans are here. That's the #1 most special, important thing to me personally.
So we have Overclocked and Huxley Group that EE Studios has made. What can we expect from EE Studios in the future?
So the truth is, we never know what we're doing next. It literally will be, I'll get a lightning bolt of inspiration. It'll have to be something I'm excited about, and then we just dive in. It'll probably have more Ava in it, but I don't know. We just did a racing commercial released a week ago. Didn't know I was going to make that a week prior to that. So really, just stay tuned. I have no idea, but I hope you enjoy it, and we'll do our best.
So I love the fact that this community shares. Oh, no, go ahead and clap. Clap. Yeah, jeez. I always have all kinds of questions because, I do a lot of tech reviews and all. So the thing about the Star Citizen community, we like to share a lot of information, right? Whether it's just how to overcome a bug or just how to record a video. So how can somebody like a young creator get into Machinima within Star Citizen? Any advice that you would give them?
So I have a little presentation with some videos that I'm going to break that down. If you guys want to see that, I can do that now.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So yeah, EE Studios, and like I said, I do have a live action film background. We did do a live action overclocked short that was funded by one of our fans. We only had 2 days to shoot it. That's on Dust right now and just got picked up for distribution. We shot that on an Unreal Engine 3D stage and also at Vasquez Rocks, which was made famous in Star Trek. So I don't know how we did it, but we did it in 2 days. But that's what that thing is. But we do a bunch of different stuff. And then I want to emphasize, EE Studios is not the only show in town. There are so many really talented artists in our community, and this is just a small pick of some of the best stuff, some of my favorite stuff. My point here is that there's something for everybody. And I have people ask me all the time, Nate, how come more people don't watch Machinima? And I think it's because they either don't know what it is or they don't know what they're missing. And I can promise you, everyone in here can watch something on this page alone and find and be really pulled into it. In fact, people have come to Star Citizen just because of the Machinima stuff they've seen. So there's some really cool stuff out there and some very talented creators out there that I've been fortunate enough to collaborate with as well. Yeah, that's me in a Cheshire Cat onesie. That's how I get my mojo on. But my process here is just one way to do it. There are many ways. The first thing, if you want to make a Machinima, is go in with an idea that you're very excited about. Don't go in trying to impress people. Don't go in trying to get likes and views. In fact, don't even care about that stuff. If you're excited about something, that's the thing that's going to keep you climbing the mountain that you need to climb to get through the process of making a Machinima. So I don't do proper screenplays for my movies in Star Citizen. I do outlines, and I highlight, color code what the actors need to do. And different than live action is I have the actors pre-record their lines. And these actors are people from the community. These aren't people that I hire. I want to pick people from our world. So when you hear these things in our shows, most of them are you guys. And so what I do is I send them stuff, I give them some direction, I get their lines back, and then we go, there's some voice acting here. Chris, are we able to play that clip from your computer? If not, it's okay. Okay, well, Theodore Perez, he's one of our members in the community, and he's an incredible voice actor, but he's not a professional voice actor. So there's so much talent in our community. And then the laborious part of this is actually going in and filming. So if you're in the verse and you see people, a group of people in one location doing the same thing over and over and over again, and it's not mining, that's probably us shooting a movie. So please don't kill us, because it really makes it more painful than it already is. But the thing we do first is, once I get the lines from the actors, I'll put it into a rough assembly, and then I'll get in there and literally puppeteer the character's mouth to the recording of the actor's performance. And it is one of the most painful things you can possibly imagine. But I think it's important to, one, see the human face, and also to have that human face emoting and talking. So there's that. And then camera tutorials. There's a lot of different camera tutorials for Star Citizen, and the camera's actually really easy to use. I'm going to show you a funny one today. And then storytelling techniques. There are many different ways to tell a story. You can do it like red versus blue, or you can do it like a traditional narrative format, sort of like what we do. But whatever you do, be original. Do what you want to do, and do it as best as you can. This is a brief look at like Premiere. This is what I use. You see all those green blocks? Those are sound design elements. So 99% of the sound is something that we build into it because it gives us more control. And so Premiere is one thing you can use. You can use DaVinci, which is free, I think, and a lot of people like to use that. But there's a lot of technology out there, and it's not that hard to learn, the basics especially. And then the last thing is to release your video. I got to tell you, some of my favorite Machinima videos have like 150 views. But I, as a filmmaker, I see them and I recognize the talent and the story behind these things. And so my advice to anybody here watching Machinima or wanting to make some, don't be afraid to release it. And don't be afraid, if you enjoy it, to say, hey, this was great, because that pat in the back goes a long way after you've just died on Mount Everest trying to make something work that's very difficult to do. And the community hub is also a great place to find Machinima and to also connect with other people who enjoy it. And that SIG has also been very great about featuring Machinima. Okay. My biggest piece of advice here is to start small. Do a 1-minute story with like a beginning, middle, and an end. Most people come in and they want to do Lawrence of Arabia. Don't do that. You got to learn your style. You got to learn your pacing. You got to learn how you deal with the stress of being in the game and dealing with a still in development game, making these things. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There's some community out there that can help you. I'll tell you more about them. And then once you get started, try to keep going. Don't say, oh, this patch is too bad, we're going to wait. I say, in my personal experience, you have to just get in there and climb the mountain as often as you can with the right people and just get it done. Otherwise, you're going to burn out and you're never going to finish it. And then, most importantly, be as authentic as possible. Every single person in here, whether you're an artist or not, you have a unique voice. And when you just do what you want to do the way you want to do it and don't worry about trying to copy or mimic someone else's style, I guarantee you it's going to stand out in a special way, and it's going to create that sort of magic that I like to see when I watch people who make art, is essentially what this is. So don't be afraid to be yourself. Epidemic Sound and Artlist.io are two programs you can use. They're subscription service, tons of music, tons of sound effects, professional grade. Those are things you can use to source your sound and your music. And then lastly, before I show the video, HubNet is a wonderful community started by my good friend Oliver Zark. Oliver Zark does news broadcasts in game that are professional grade. He started this community, and I helped him build it up over the last 2 or 3 years. These are people that you can connect with. It's not even an org. They're just people who love to work together and be creative. If you want to be a voice actor, if you want someone to help you with your org commercial, if you want to get involved in anything Machinima making, go into HubNet, tell them that I sent you, and say, how can I help or what can I do? Really great community, and I love these guys. With that, I'm going to show you a short video. It's an EE Studio style camera tutorial with some sort of epic clips that I could find from some of our previous work that can show you how much you can do with the basics of this technology. Thank you.
Hey everybody, Nate here from EE Studios. Today I'm going to run through some inverse camera basics, and a little bit about how the camera can help tell a story too.
I managed to convince the one, the only Ava Huxley to be our subject today. Ava, say cheese!
No.
Okay, so here are some of the basics. F4 plus the arrow keys allow you to move the camera in specific ways. So the up and down arrows push the camera in and pull it out. So holding F4, pushing the camera in, pulling the camera out. And then left and right arrows, slide the camera right and slide the camera left. Okay, now we do F4 and the page up and page down keys. What this is called is a pedestal. So we're pedestaling down, F4 page down, and pedestaling up, F4 page up, and that pedestals the camera up and down. Another element is holding the Z key and using the mouse to pan the camera and tilt the camera. Okay, so F4 plus the minus key gives me a longer lens, which flattens the image out. And F4 plus the plus key gives me a wider lens, zooms the image out. So a wider image gives a more spherical look, and as I make the lens longer, it flattens the image out, and there's less distortion. And I'm going to now use the F4 plus home key to buzz the background and shallow the depth of field. So the more I press that, the more buzz the background gets, and the end key below the home key plus F4 shallows it back out or widens it back out. Now, using the camera is pretty easy as long as you're not colliding into geometry. Come on, you stupid... friggin' seat's in the way. But if you want to use it to tell a story, here are some basics on how to frame your subject to convey certain ideas. This right here is called the angle level, and it's good for when your party or your character is talking with a neutral party. It puts them on the same level as the camera. It makes them feel even and equal to whatever it is they're saying or doing or who they're talking to. Using Z and my mouse, I'm going to pan the camera, tilt the camera down, and this is called the angle high, and this makes your character feel less powerful and also maybe even gives the feeling that they're being watched. And now we go to a low angle, so I'm using Z and I'm tilting the camera up, and this obviously gives the character a more powerful look, a more powerful feeling. You can even have a scene where a character is becoming more powerful as they're talking, and you can even do a slow pan up or tilt up to convey that feeling. This right here is a classic straight-on frontal. It makes the subject appear strong, determined, undaunted. It gives a very matter-of-fact vibe. And again, in any shot, you can make the subject appear less powerful, or more like they're being watched, or more like they're inferior, or you can make them appear more powerful. In fact, I call doing this going below the chin, or in this case, the double chin.
Excuse me?
Seriously, have you gained some weight?
Now, a profile shot where you only see one eye and mostly the side of a subject's face conveys being alone with the subject, maybe alone with their thoughts.
I could kill him right now.
Now, if you want to take it a step further, you can buzz the background using the F4 and the home and end keys, and now you get a feeling of being really alone with the subject, that you're really alone with their deepest thoughts or having a private moment with them.
I'm going to kill him.
You can also wiggle the mouse a bit to convey more energy for action shots.
The hole with all that gunfire, sir.
A little blowjob might be all we need. Open the doors.
Sir?
Open the fucking doors. Now.
Desperate bastard. Ugh.
Nice knowing ya, dude!
Dive.
Sir!
Dive.
Sir!
Airspeed alert. Airspeed alert.
Jesus!
I'm sorry.
Me too.
We're overstressing the airframe!
I don't care.
Jesus! I'm not sure I can recover, sir!
Looks all right to me. Aim for the water.
Come on, baby! Come on! Push it!
Lastly, you can get some nice stable vehicle shots by turning off global camera shake near the bottom of the options menu. You can also lock to an exterior angle of a vehicle by turning off camera spring movement near the top of the options menu.
Shit.
What?
We're being followed. Hang on.
Please stop.
Swallow it.
Terrain. Pull up.
Hey, Billy, I'm gonna need you to sign for Meemaw's double dog order when it gets here, man. God almighty, what was that?
Okay, change of plans.
Holy shit.
Cool, right? What's that for?
Absolutely fantastic. I know I learned a lot. I never really thought of how much really goes into this. And it's a lot of work, production level, obviously. And I don't know, any final thoughts about all this?
No, I'm very grateful to be here. When Griffin and the guys asked me to come here, and my wife, very honored, and especially for you guys to listen and care about what we have to say. That means a whole lot, so thank you.
I think the biggest takeaway is that if you have something that you have a vision for, there's a huge community here to help you do it. But in my experience of content creation, the hardest part is just hitting the record button that first time. Once you get past that hurdle, it gets easier and easier. All right? All right, I think we have some giveaway action coming next with NicAtNight. Do you guys still like giveaways? No? Have there been too many? I don't know. Can we give this away to my house? Yeah?
No, not this one.
Okay, all right. Next time. So yeah, we have, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
For
Thank you.
this. And